guys ever want to run your sump and your plumbing into your basement, you got to drill through the floor. Make sure you wait until your wife's gone to drill through the floor, so she doesn't come in while you're drilling the floor and wondering what the heck you're doing if you've gone mad. And plus, whenever she comes home, she can't tell you that you can't do it because it's already been done. And eventually, over the week, she'll be okay with it because she'll know that there's not as much equipment up here and it's not as noisy. And it looks a lot neater up here without a bunch of equipment all around the aquarium. So she'll be okay with it eventually. But I just wanted to let you guys know that before you drill into the floor, I got to drill a 3/4 inch hole on the left side of the tank and a 1 inch hole on the right side of the tank. So before you drill, just go down to your basement and make sure you're not drilling in through the rafters. Make sure it's going straight to the floor. Since I have wood floor down here, it's going to be real simple for me. I only have to drill through the floor. I don't have to pull up the carpet and cut through the carpet or anything like that. The overflow of the silencer is pretty much silent. It's working really well. Got my return set up. Got the holes drilled into the floor and then ran the lines down into the basement and got my overflow up and running. It'll be a lot quieter once it breaks in, but the water just siphons up over. And then there's a chamber in the left side here that keeps the water level the same so it never breaks the siphon. And then the water spills down into the second compartment where it goes down the overflow into this sump. And then this little knob here, you can loosen that and move the box up and down to adjust the water level inside the aquarium. So at first I had it up, or the water level pretty low in the tank, just to see how everything went. But now that everything's doing fine, I raised it up pretty high. And then on my return, I got the water level just below the rim here. And on the return, I drilled a hole about right where the water level is. So if power goes out, the water will back siphon down into the sump just below that hole that I drilled. So then the water doesn't go lower than where the overflow is. So then it doesn't overflow my sump downstairs. So then I made the water level higher just below the hole so the water isn't squirting out, making some noise. So everything's hooked up and installed now. And as you can see, the box is real small. It leaves a lot of space and room in the aquarium. So now I gotta put all the live rock and corals from my 55 gallon into my main display now. So I'll show you guys my setup after I have all my live rock and corals in the tank. Right now I have the lights about 20 inches above the aquarium. I'm trying to get my corals to adjust to this intense light. I also have some layers of screen up above the glass on my top of my aquarium. and I pull like one layer of screen off like every week to let more and more light into the aquarium. My corals are starting to come back out now. They were having a hard time adjusting to that much light. This screen, I just bought it at Lowe's. In the screen and frame department in Lowe's, they sell the window screen in like a large roll. I think it was 25 feet for like, I think it was like $12. So then I just cut pieces that are on the top of my tank here, and then I just remove a layer every week to let more light into the tank. And then eventually I can lift all the screens up whenever my corals are adjusted to the light. I mean, I can do this because I have the glass top. But I mean, back in the day with power compacts and T5s, you couldn't have glass on the top of your aquarium. It blocked out too much light. But since I have so much light going into the tank, I can have my glass canopy on, and I'm planning on getting some fish that like to jump, so I'm going to keep my glass canopy on top. But since I have my sump open up down in my basement, I can keep my tank completely covered up here, because all the gas exchange happens down the sump. And my anemone moved since I put it in the tank. It's back behind there now. As long as it stays back there, it's fine. Hopefully it won't move anymore. But everything opened back up now to the light. So I'm hoping everything will adjust alright. I have a little baby. I don't even know where he came from. I just saw him the other day. There's like 3 little babies in the tank now. I think they're from the mollies. My mushrooms are doing really well. But the only thing that I had happen is my Polypora. As you can see, it's completely white. Whenever I was putting all the live rock into my new tank from my 55-gallon, that broke off and landed in the bottom of my 55-gallon. And since the water was cloudy, since I was moving everything out, I didn't see it. And it sat in the bottom of my tank for like 3 days. And when I eventually did see it, it was completely white. But I put it back in there because I'm thinking it might come back. But we'll see. I mean, right now it's completely white. So hopefully he'll come back. But since everything's working fine now and my water parameters are stable, I'm going to buy a bunch of coral frags this next weekend and put them in my tank. And then I'm also, my yellow tang is always hiding back behind the rocks, not coming out and swimming a whole lot. So I'm going to get a purple tang to put in there with him. I figure if I get a purple tang, he'll be wanting to come out more and be more territorial. So I'm hoping a purple tang and a yellow tang will be able to get along well. And then I'm going to get some more fish, I'm not sure yet, and fill up the tank. This time in this tank, I use the sugar size sand. And right now I'm trying to get it to stay in the bottom of the tank. But every time I turn my power heads on, these are the 1650 Corallias, the magnums. And if I turn them both on, it's way too powerful. It stirs up the sugar size sand. As you can see, it just like blows it away from the corners. So I'm gonna wait. I mean, right now I have some diatoms on the sand, so I'm gonna wait until the sand grows like a film on it, and then I'm gonna get the Corallia wave maker, so the both magnum pumps aren't on at the same time. They go back and forth, and that will create less of a motion in the tank, because with both of them on, it's just way too much flow inside the tank. But once I get the 2 layers of screen off the top of the tank, then I'll be able to keep them on full. I mean, this one here has just a little bit of blue on the corners, and then it's all white. And then this one here has mostly blue, and then just a little bit of white. So if I stand back here, the camera has a hard time adjusting to the blue light. But you can see the left side of the tank is a lot more blue than the right side of the tank. So that's basically up to you guys if you like more blue in the tank or more white in the tank. But now that everything's doing well, I'm going to put some money into it and buy some more fish and buy some more coral frags. So I'll keep you guys up to date on how the tank is doing. So subscribe to me, and I'll show you how these lights do on my new tank and how the corals adjust, if they can adjust to this amount of light. I mean, for a 120 gallon tank, you could probably get away with 2 141 watt fixtures rather than 212 watts, because this is a lot of light for a 120 gallon tank. But I spoke with Taotronics, and they're coming out with a dimmer for these lights. They said they were, so I'm hoping they do come out with a dimmer so you can control the power more and the output of them. And it'll be a lot easier to adjust the lights with a dimmer on there.